Hi everybody, my name is Bronsois, I'm Honor de Bard at your service, and I'm known for playing Anji in Guilty Gear Strive. So, hi YouTube. This video is meant to show you my process on how to learn a new character. And the character I'm picking to learn today is going to be Bridget. And one of the first things I do whenever I'm learning a character is checking to see what the buttons do and how they feel. Because one of the big things you have to understand is, what am I doing? I wouldn't rush people to go look up stuff as soon as possible, because sometimes, unless that's what you want, right? I'm not going to stop people from doing that either. But I think that's also important to figure stuff out yourself, just so you can recognize things. One of the biggest mistakes I see when beginners try to learn something is that they'll probably go straight to a combo video, or they'll go to, say, Dust Loop, which is a great resource page for learning really detailed things about your character. But the problem with that is that a lot of the time, you're not familiar enough with the character yet where you can memorize all of the little details in a combo or in a big block of text. So for me, I like to go and check every single button in the game that is attached to the character. So punch, kick, slash, heavy slash, and dust, right? Outside of the universal options like blocking or jumping or things like that. So for Bridget's buttons, I can see that it looks like her 5P is about 8 frames, which makes it pretty okay. It's not the fastest. Her 2P is 7 frames, which is also not very fast, right? 5K is 6 frames, much faster, and 2K is 5 frames. So this is probably her fastest button. So if I'm ever in a sticky situation, now I know I should be pressing this one. Far slash reaches really far, and it looks like I can press it twice to do stuff, right? It looks like heavy slash does something similar and reaches just as far, so I could probably combo one into the other. So that's cool. We can't forget about the fact that we have low versions of each move as well. Different buttons have different properties in the air as well, so I had to make sure to check those as well. This one doesn't do too well low to the ground, but it's definitely good air to air. In terms of my anti-airs, this one's a good button, this one's a really good button. So those are important to think about. This is also an anti-air, but usually not a good idea, especially when you have much better buttons like this that are safer. Now at this point, I'd probably be like, so that's a pretty good rudimentary thing, but what if we just look at the command list? I usually try not to ask people to look at the command list immediately because it can be a little overwhelming. But once you understand a bit what each button looks like, then you can go into here and then you can understand, oh, I see. Now this button does this, and I can recognize what each button does. 6P, or forward P in this, forward punch in this case, is the universal slap out of the air, anti-air. 6K is going to be a forward moving kick. 6H is going to be the butt bump, booty, booty brigade, booty rocket, whatever you want to call it. This is what I figured out naturally. SS into HH both work. And then we get into special moves. So from what I remember, that's a DP, that's the scooter, that's the brake on the scooter, and that's the flip on the scooter. I can make the scooter go slower, I can make the scooter go faster. That's cool. See, I can do this in the air, do Roger dive. What else am I missing? If I do quarter circle forward, I get yo-yo, and then it'll eventually come back. If I do the H version, it'll go upward. And both versions of the yo-yo make the yo-yo hit something on the way out. If I do quarter circle back, then the yo-yo doesn't do any damage until it comes back. Same thing with the diagonal version with H. So that's cool. And of course, if I put the yo-yo out, like this, then after that I can do quarter circle back to do that. So that's cool. All right. And then after that, we have to see, Bridget has a blue wild assault. This is universal, so I don't have to worry about that. But it's important to know what kind of wild assault you have, because it will tell you what kind of combos you can do later. And finally, let's make sure I can do my supers, which is... Yep. And then... That's in the air. Let's make sure we can do it on the ground. Yep. Okay. So just by doing that much in one sitting, I'm now much more familiar with the way that Bridget can move and attack. Right? Like, this is a good button to check people when they're running at me, I think. This is a really good button if I really want to keep people away from me. And these are my buttons to get people off of me. Or to just check them when I'm up close. Sometimes it's important to distinguish what looks like an easy combo and what looks like a hard combo, right? Usually the longer a combo is, the harder it can be. And so whenever I have to learn a new combo, I try to break things down, right? For example, what am I actually hitting somebody with to start this combo? In which case, a close slash. What are you hitting them with first? How are you extending off of that? What's the next move? Go bit by bit. Sometimes you want to break it up into, okay, maybe I need to practice the last half of it rather than the first half, and then you got to figure out, is it possible to do the last half without doing the first half? Sometimes what is actually listed doesn't tell you what you're supposed to do accurately, which is why I said it's important to be familiar with your character so you can actually visually see what's going on. In this case, if we back up here to the beginning of the combo, what the combo doesn't tell you is that right after the first JH, there's actually a double jump you have to do, and then follow it up with another JH into the rest of the buttons. When you learn a combo, you should actually know how to start landing the combo and in what situations can you hit this. What are good block strings? What's a block string? It's like a combo, except you do it on block. When the opponent is blocking on defense, how do you make sure that you can open them up so that you can actually do your big combo that does all the damage? And if you really, really want to get into it, like you've decided, hey, I want Bridget to be the main character I play, I want to put the most time into it, then that means you should try finding the Discord. You know, there's usually a community of people who have already gone through all this, so you don't have to reinvent the wheel. Although you totally could, and that would also be really cool. You know, figure out what you don't know. That's always the biggest part. Figure out what you don't know. I don't know how to hit people. Okay, maybe you should go watch someone play Bridget. You know, go on YouTube, find high-level gameplay maybe, or just even go into, you can go into the main menu actually. There's an option for this. A lot of people don't seem to utilize this. You can go into the collection, go into replays, and you can even find gameplay of the level you're looking for. You know, let's say you don't want to copy high-level players too fast because you can't replicate what they do. So instead, you begin search, look for a character. Let's say I want to see what a Bridget does. You know, character 2, any winning character. Let's say Bridget is the character we want them to win. And then after that, platform, and then that can be the same. Filter, rank to match, and say upper rank. We'll limit it to, let's say, Plat 3 and Plat 1. Right? Just to see how they play up there, which might give me some better ideas. Or not, right? And now that we have this, we can show result by pressing left trigger if you're on the controller. Or actually, no, pressing begin search. Here we go. And so now we have all this data where Bridget wins, and we can see how they did it. Oh my goodness. So immediately I see, okay, the Bridget wants to put space in between them. This is how you play at a basic level, right? Making use of big buttons, getting big damage, breaking the wall, getting conversions off of your longer buttons, right? Watching and learning. A safe jump, you know? I wouldn't have thought of that. That's something important to make note of. Once again, keeping space, understanding how to keep that space, you know, outplaying the soul by making use of your best tools. Oh, drops the combo, but that's okay. You know? Here we go again. Jumping back, retreating doesn't seem like a bad idea. You know, it's just one of many combos, and or one of many options that you can try for. Checking approaches, using DP to get out of sticky situation, that's important. Misses the anti-air, but it's fine because they swap sides. Now Soul's in the corner again. And the Bridget is always standing at a distance that prevents her from taking a whole lot of damage or getting hit by something stray. So unfortunate reversal for the Bridget here, but using some shenanigans, they go ahead and return the favor, reversing the situation, remembering to block. We might see a burst. It's a YRC, actually. Here we go again. Doesn't get a chance to burst, unfortunately. And that's it. Once again, the Bridget just maneuvered around the Soul, used big buttons, and after that converted into their combos. And that's the gist of it. So now my question has been answered. Earlier, the question was, how do I hit somebody? Well, space out, or space properly, I should say, and then make use of your big buttons, catch someone off guard when they do something unsafe, and then punish them for it. So that's the game plan, seems like, as Bridget, right? Or at least one game plan possible. Maybe it's good to get a higher sample size, maybe you go back to the replay list and see what other matchups you want to play, right? You might be more curious about certain matchups than others, depending on what your experience is like when you play the game. You know, that's why it's important to go and jump into the water yourself. I often say practice doesn't make perfect, perfect practice makes perfect, etc. But it's more like practice makes progress. Shout outs to Church HB, by the way. But yeah, that about sums it up. Thank you for watching this video. Thank you for your time. If you like the video, feel free to drop a like. If you want to see more of this kind of thing, let me know in the comments. And feel free to even subscribe if you like. And yeah, that's about it for me. My name is Francois, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye. Oh my god. I've made a grave error in that I've been talking this whole time, and the video and other things weren't even on the screen. Chat, I'm a fool. I'm a fool. Someone hit the society button. Someone hit the society button. Ah! Society. Ah!